Awesome. All right. So now that I've shared all of that, I want to just kind of do a quick check-in and see how everyone is doing, and just being real and honest and like truth in the room is kind of like, because I do see a therapist. I think everybody should to some extent, but like we have a saying, it's truth in the room. So being honest, not just with other people, but yourself. And I feel like it's easier a lot of times for us to lie to ourselves if we've have already started that cycle or that habit. And I know a lot of times when we change our lifestyle, we're changing our habits. And it's hard to change habits, but we have to focus on replacing those bad habits with good ones. Because if we don't replace those habits with something else that's for our benefit, we're just going to replace it with another bad habit. Does that make sense? So if someone's trying to cut out soda, I wouldn't recommend to go cold turkey. I would recommend like the Zevia, like we were talking about, or doing seltzer water with squirts, or like if there are certain things that draw you to that, and it's kind of like someone like coffee, if they're wanting to cut coffee out, all right, well, let's do like a half caffeinated, half regular, and let's dwindle it down to where we are getting rid of those caffeine draws, but we're replacing it with something else. It's going to be much harder for you to be successful if you just quit things cold turkey and not replacing it with something else. So just being honest with yourself, saying, you know what, like I have tried to put on this new lifestyle and these bad habits are sticking with me, or like I want to give a shout out to myself this week because I feel like that bad habit is being replaced with this good habit. Does that make sense? Would anybody like to go first? Candace? You can share. You already have been sharing a lot of this stuff about like the soda and stuff.
Well, I've been doing good this week. I got back on my I don't tend to stray off my diet too long, so I've got to have some kind of structure because if I don't, it's bad. It makes my depression really horrible. Mm-hmm. So I have to have structure. So I got back on my diet. I'm doing good. I'm back in ketosis altogether I started week 4 of Lift 4, and technically it would be week 4 of keto because I only went out of it for a little bit and came right back into it. I've lost 18 pounds so far with that.
What?
Yeah.
18?
18. Yeah. But I do a lot of running. And
you have 18 pounds to lose.
Yeah, I know. It's probably just water weight. Yeah. So, yeah. See, I started Lift 4.
Like, close your mouth, Robin. Like, oh my God.
When I started Lift 4, I was 174. And I weighed myself this morning because I was in heavy ketosis for the last 2 days. And when I got on the scale this morning, I was 156. So
now, if I remember correctly, in the past, the 150s you struggled with, or basically under 165, I believe was your target number. See, I remember some things. I don't remember everything, but when y'all talk about goals. So 165 was kind of like your sweet spot. So how do you feel like now that you're past that, like by 10 pounds, have you felt like you've had any sugar issues or anything like that?
Not on keto at all. I'm actually able to maintain my glucose levels, and I don't have to worry about my blood sugar dropping on me because it's already low and my body's running on ketones. So I don't have the hypoglycemic attacks or anything anymore. I let myself eat, though. I don't count every macro anymore. If I'm hungry, I will find something to eat because I'm not worried about losing weight. I'm trying to put on muscle mass. So I'm not worried about any of it coming off because I'm just going to build it right back on. That's kind of my goal. Mm-hmm. But I'm not counting calories. I'm not counting macros. I'm eating whatever I want to eat as long as it's keto. So, yeah.
Wow. Did you expect that at all?
No, it was a shock. It really was. Because when I came off of keto, I don't know. It's kind of like I hit a point and from what I've read, it's kind of like your body will tell you when you need to carb up, is what they call it, carbing up, where you gotta eat some carbs. So I think maybe me crashing like I did and just eating normally for a couple days is what my body needed to kind of just restore my carbs. And
basically like kind of like carb cycling.
yeah, so whenever I came back onto keto, I think I weighed in at 166, 164. And I weighed myself, like I said, this morning, and I was 156, and I was like, holy crap. I didn't believe it. I stepped off the scale, and I was like, that can't be right. And then I've got one of the scales that it tells you your BMI, your water weight, and I've been using it since I started losing weight. So I was like, well, if I step back on, it's going to say the same thing. So I put my clothes on. I was like, well, maybe if I put my clothes on, I'll throw it off, and it'll give me a different weight.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just another pound and a half over. So I don't know. Maybe it'll be different tomorrow.
That's like witchery, man.
It was weird. It's like I don't want to be like stick skinny, but I mean, if I'm losing it, I'm losing it for a reason. And it's not like I'm restricting myself with calories, in no means.
Mm-hmm.
So,
wow. Well, congratulations. Virtual high five to you.
I don't know though. It's kind of scary because I'm worried that I'm going to start having hypoglycemic attacks. But on keto, I don't have that because you run on low sugar.
Mm-hmm.
So I still haven't had a period. I haven't had a period in 5 months now. So
give it time with keto.
It's kind of my hope. That's another reason why I went on keto, because it's supposed to help with that, and it's supposed to help with your blood sugar issues, and I don't know. We'll see.
Well, that's amazing. Wow. Man, I can't wait to go tell somebody. That's really good news. I can't wait to tell somebody.
Well, I didn't really want to say anything because I know it's a struggle, especially with PCOS when you start losing weight. It's a struggle. Every pound is a struggle. I started at 227 and now I'm 156 and I'm like, oh my God, I didn't expect to get this small. Mm-hmm. My goal weight in the beginning was just like 170. So.
Yeah, I've been very diligent with my meal plan at least. And in 4 months, I've lost 18 pounds. So you lost in 4 weeks and you don't even have 15 pounds or 18 pounds to lose. That's what I tell my husband. I'm like, you need to stop losing.
Well, I do have a lot of excess skin that doesn't show. I mean, I've lost a lot of weight.
For you. I'm excited for you, but I'm just like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I know what your goals are. And I'm like, whoa, that's not at all. Because I know that you are focusing on toning and building. So what I would recommend to you is focus on more protein and upping your weights.
That's what I'm doing. I'm trying anyways.
Well, congrats to you, man.
Hopefully the weight starts to go the other way, though. I want to at least build back up to maybe 170 with muscle mass.
You can do it. And you would have a rockin' body. I mean, you already are sexy now, but a ripped rockin' body. So anyway, who would like to share next how they're doing? Anyone? Charlotte, how are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing. I'm not really exercising. I'm not sleeping well, so I wake up tired, and I would like to walk on my treadmill, but I don't because I'm tired, and I just wake up for work, and then I kind of sleep, sit in my chair and sleep until it's time to go to work. And
so do you feel like you're constantly wanting to sleep or constantly just tired?
No, I'm just not sleeping well at night.
Do you know if you have sleep apnea or anything like that?
I do, and I have a CPAP machine, and I got a better mask that that they're letting me trial. It's the full face mask rather than the just over the nose.
Is that helping?
I like it better, but I'm still not keeping it on all night. I kind of push it off.
Are you doing it and not realizing it, or?
I'll wake up because I'm not sleeping well and then not get not put it back on.
Gotcha.
And go back to sleep or try to go back to sleep.
Mm-hmm. I'm sorry. Like, what is there? Like, is there anything I can do? Maybe look up stuff for you to help you, or?
I don't know. I've tried trazodone. It doesn't really work. Melatonin didn't work.
Something that I would like for you to look into, and this is for anyone that struggles with sleep, or even if you just want to improve your quality of sleep, is magnesium. Not just any magnesium, but magnesium citrate. There is a thing called Natural Calm, and a lot of ketoers take it because magnesium is one of the electrolytes that they're typically low in. But what it does is, a lot of times people are not deficient in melatonin or anything like that. It's actually magnesium. And so I ordered it because I struggle with sleep. I can easily run on 3 to 4 hours of sleep every night, and after a week or 2 weeks, I'll crash and want to sleep for like 15 hours. That's just how I'm wired. And so I've been trying to get more sleep each night. And I had heard about this, so I was like, I'll give it a try, whatever. So I ordered it. It is amazing. Like, I felt like I get deeper sleep than I ever have. And I have sleep apnea too. And so like I was raving about it to my husband, and he's not one to take any medicine. I was like, it's not medicine, it's a supplement. Like, just take it and see. He swears by it too. And so it's one of those things where I'm not saying like you have, I don't know. I have, when I took it and when he took it, like the first night, it was the best sleep we had had in weeks. And it's one of those things where it's not possible to really overdose on it. Like, and it only takes a very small quantity because you mix it with water, and it, like, you can get it unflavored, but we get it raspberry lemon flavored, so it's kind of like a Crystal Light. But I highly recommend to try that out.
Okay.
If you have Epsom salts at home, you can do it with Epsom salts too.
Like putting it in your water, or like just thinking about, okay. Huh.
It's on they actually have directions on the bag. All the Epsom salts is magnesium.
Okay.
I did know that.
And then something I use for my potassium with my keto, since I don't do a whole lot of avocados, is I use no salt, because all it is potassium. And I'll make a salt shaker, half no salt, half sodium, and I'll sprinkle that on my food. And then I use nutritional yeast on my vegetables for vitamin B12.
Okay.
Well, thank you for the ideas.
Yeah, I'll have to post the link to the Natural Calm, because I tell everybody about it. It has been life changing for me and Nick. Like, usually you only dream when you're in your like deepest like REM sleep or whatever. Like, that's like your deepest sleep. I've started dreaming again, and I can't remember like dreaming in years. And I've actually dreamed like a couple of nights this past week, and it's just crazy to me, like, of how effective it is. I'm a skeptic, like, oh crap. We only have like a few minutes left. 10 minutes. So it's one of those things, like, you never know. But what I can maybe even do, if you don't want to buy a whole thing of it, I can send you like a serving or two for you to try, and you can just test it out and see what you think.
Okay.
Sounds
good.
I've given baggies out to people all the time. Love it, because I'm like, you need to try this. Anyway, Natalie, how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty well. I'm doing the 2B diet, and I really like it. I like the adding more vegetables and being more creative with them. But the thing I'm really struggling with is like finding time to eat throughout the day. So like when I get home, I'm like starving and eating like the first thing that I see. So because like since I'm a teacher and I teach like 6 periods a day, I have like trouble finding time to eat, because if I do eat in front of them, they want whatever I eat.
Even if it's like an apple?
Yeah. Like students have asked me for my apples before. Yeah. Carrots. Yeah. Everything.
What grade are you teaching?
High school, sophomores.
Oh, please.
They're always hungry. That age group's always hungry. They'll eat you out of house and home.
Yeah.
Do you have like a planning period or anything like that? Or like, what is your or like, do you have a planning period or like a time where you have a break in
Nope.
besides lunch?
I just get lunch.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you able to usually eat during lunch, or is that busy?
It's pretty busy. I usually have like 15 to 20 kids in my room at that time too. But I'm usually better at eating during lunch.
Yeah. That's when I would say, you know what? That's what I tell my kids, you know, it's one of those things. It's like, if they're in my kitchen bothering me while I'm cooking, I'm like, do you want to eat? Like, if you want to eat, get out of my kitchen because you're driving me crazy. Or like, you know, do you want mommy to be like acting like this? Do you want mommy to be hangry? Because if you don't get hangry, let me eat. So it's
Okay.
one of those things like, I know like the students are very important, but also make sure like if you're skipping, like if you notice that you're allowing yourself to skip lunch or not eating, even eating half of it, like, you're like, all right, like set those boundaries because you do need to eat. Because if it's one of those things like, if you're going all day and you're not hungry, that's one thing. I'll be like, well, don't worry about it. Like,
Right.
you have to cram in all this food. But if you're just grabbing crap because you're hungry later and you're just shoving it in your face, that's a different thing, because you're now grabbing things that don't serve your goals and the purpose that you have. And that is going to lead you down to bad habits. Those are the bad habits. So, but if you're not hungry, then don't eat. But if you're noticing that when you do eat, like you just want to eat everything in sight, well then, okay, we need to rein it back, say, all right, what is leading you up to feeling this way? How can we overcome this? What are some boundaries, some guardrails we can set up to avoid this continuing on? Does it make sense? So what I would recommend, like, I don't know, what are some things that you feel like you could snack on during the day? Maybe it's like during passing period, I don't know what they call it, when they go from class to class. Like, could you eat like a little handful of nuts or throw back some carrots or something, like, while, I don't know, like, is that something that's a possibility? I know every school's different and like every schedule is different.
Yeah, I think that's something I could probably do.
Or even if you did keep a thing of carrots or cucumbers on your desk, and you know, like, it doesn't mean you have to sit down and eat them all at one time. You can graze on them. Girl, I'm a good grazer, especially after I had my weight loss surgery years ago. You know what? They're like, oh, you'll lose weight, yada, yada, yada. No, once I was able to eat again, challenged me to eat a whole cheesecake in one night. I could do that. I just had to do a little bit slower. So it's like, it didn't stop me. You know, it just basically made me have to pace myself, you know? So what I would do, what I would recommend is just grazing. That way, you know, or just grabbing a bite here and there, like just in those little moments, those hidden moments, maybe where you're sitting at the desk and your students are working on a problem, or like you're working at the board or whatever, and they have like a minute to work out the problem. Grab a bite when you're not having to talk or whatever. So you're not walking around with it. It immediately goes in your mouth. If that makes sense. Like, I'm pretty good at sneaking food because just like my past, like I used to eat in secret all the time. So I think of those ways of like, whether it's a good food or a bad food, like I'm pretty good at sneaking it. And that's just me being honest with myself, you know, just saying, all right, like, you have a habit of sneaking food. So I don't allow myself to really sneak food anywhere outside the kitchen unless like I'm with someone, just because if I know like I'm not around people, even with like healthy foods, I'm like, I don't want that temptation to crawl back in and be like, oh, well, no one's come down to my office for so long, so no one would know if I went over to my husband's stash and got into his sugar, you know, basically his diabetes in a bowl, you know. So because I was like that, like even up until like 7-8 months ago, like if I just was emotional or was attaching my emotions to someone's success or working my business or just the kids, I would eat my emotions. And so it's just like, I can't do that. Those are just boundaries I've set up for myself. So I would just recommend grazing. And that way, when you do get home, you're not just so hungry, you're shoving the first thing that's in your mouth. You may still be hungry, but you can still have that willpower to say, no, not that. I can hold out enough to where I can prepare this and be able to eat it, if that makes sense. So
Yeah.
but I'm glad you're enjoying the 2B mindset. What do you think is like the most beneficial tool that you have learned so far from it?
Wait, what was that?
What do you feel like is the most beneficial tool that you've learned from 2B mindset so far for you personally?
I think it really is the veggies most idea. Because I've done like the whole like cut out like all my like carbs thing. I'm not keto, but just like cutting out like all carbs and sugar, like processed sugars. And like making friends with vegetables has been really a good way to look at food for me.
Yeah.
And so it forced me to be creative, which I liked.
Yes, she teaches you to not hate the scale, basically have a different relationship with the scale, with vegetables, and like vegetables, and I never heard this before, but duh, it makes sense. Vegetables are meant to fill us up, not carbs, not fruit, not necessarily the meat. Like vegetables are, Earth's like, they came from the earth basically, so they're natural, and so it's like that's where we're going to get most of our nutrients from. And so, and I tell my kids, veggies are meant to fill you up, not the spaghetti that's on your plate. So if you're still hungry after you eat your first like plate of veggies in spaghetti, we're going to get a big helping of vegetables too, because that's what's meant to fill us up, not the processed stuff. So, and they're like, huh, what? And so I love that I'm able to share that with them. But anyways, thank you for sharing, and let me know how that goes. Hopefully it gets better. How are you, Wendy?
I'm okay. This week's been really stressful with work, and so I'm like Charlotte, I haven't been sleeping well. I don't know exactly what's going on. I think it's just all the stress. And so I haven't really wanted to work out, and I've been eating okay. Like my portions are good, but other than that, just not working out.
Gotcha. So what do you feel like would motivate you to work out?
I'm gonna try actually working out at like after I get home to see if that'll work better, because I have to get up so early in the morning as it is. Getting up earlier than that is really a struggle.
Yeah, I get that.
So,
who's your success sister?
her name is Bailey Ann, I think.
Oh, okay. I would recommend that you, if you don't do a daily check-in in the group, do a daily check-in with her, like a text message.
Okay.
Or do a thing where you're going to commit to 3 days this week. You're going to post a swelfie of your workout, or just a post, or a picture or something of your workout, and then we'll give you a virtual high five.
Okay.
I know, like that maybe seem like a small reward, but I mean, I like to be, recognized and people, be like, oh, you're doing so